5555 Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
So much good news, I almost feel like I'm lying. It's just good, and good. Day 17, Miller Electric Center, early in the morning. Wow. And it's a mess getting there. I mean, I got a elementary school in my complex over there at Bartram Springs, man. It takes me like 4 light changes just to get out of my complex. And it's not a complaint. It's not. I mean, kids need school, right? Parents are doing theirs. But this ends tomorrow. The heck am I going to do beginning Thursday? Are you kidding me? I thoroughly have enjoyed training camp 2025. It's up tomorrow. That'll be the final day. They'll fly to Miami. They'll practice with the Dolphins. And, of course, they'll play with them coming up on Saturday night. That'll be the 3rd preseason game. And then you'll have to sit back and get ready for the regular season and what is going to be a very important game against the Carolina Panthers. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I think this game against Carolina is so important for the mental health of Duval. Right? There's no such thing as a must-win in week 1 in the NFL. But just to be on the same page, just to be motivated, just to be focused, just to be, dare I say, happy after what they did to you a year ago. I mean, dropping a 0-4 in September. And basically, they just looked at you and said, Jaguars fans, you will not be allowed to smile the entire year. Okay? Your beer's not going to taste good. The cigars aren't going to taste good. The food, pregame, postgame. No, they just looked right at you and said, watch this. So that game against Carolina, again, it's not a must-win. It's week 1. But I think for the sanity of you as a Jaguars fan, it is incredibly important. All right, today was a battle of getting through attrition, right? Primarily the offensive line, primarily the defensive line, and also the secondary. A lot of injuries throughout camp. Travis Hunter working with Tyson Campbell today, going one-on-one, individual drills, half speed, right? But they were out there. And for me, that says something. Liam Cohen, after the practice today, said he hopes that Travis Hunter is going to be able to work against the Miami Dolphins on Thursday. Now, for a second consecutive Tuesday, they went through the alignments and assignments where they snap the ball and blow the whistle. Last week, they did it for 40 plays, and it almost felt like, coaching 101. It was Liam Cohen's way to say to his football team, you are making way, way too many mistakes, so we're going back to the basics. Well, they did it again today. Call a play, go take the snap, and as soon as that does happen, the officials blow the whistle. Hunter was involved in that. Once they went into regular 11-on-11, and they did quite a bit of teamwork later in practice. It was a non-padded practice. I don't know if I added that. That was the end of it for Travis Hunter today. So at least Hunter and Campbell are in the process of coming back. That's really good news. Eric Armstead and Mason Smith today, both practicing. Watch number 91 Armstead do individual drills. Watch Armstead as well get involved defensively. There was actually a time during 11-on-11 where you had left to right, you had Walker, Armstead, Mason Smith, and Josh Hans-Allen. Those were your 4 working. And it just, it felt good. It looked good. And, you just wonder what are they going to do? Are they going to keep those two on the edge? Could they, put Smoot in, take out Mason Smith, put Smoot in a pass rush situation? Is that going to be your 4? Could they possibly slide over, Walker? That's been something we've talked about around here forever, and go with Ogba on the edge. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you, it was good. It was really good to see those two out there working today, both in team drills and in individual drills. Mason Smith is enormous. All of the players who lost weight, we know what happened a year ago where they were asked to put it on, and there's been noticeable weight loss with a lot of football players. The exception to the rule is Mason Smith. He just looks like a beast, okay? And, not going to put the cart ahead of the horse here, but it was really promising to see those two interior defensive linemen out there today. The offensive line, Anton Harrison was back working today at right tackle. Chuma Edoga, who, along with Harrison, did not play this past weekend in New Orleans. He was working at right guard, and, there appears to be the battle again with Patrick McCarry. And, I'm redundant with this, but I think it's very important. All I wanted in the battle for the 5 offensive linemen was for competition to take over. And someone's got to earn it, right? I don't want the offensive 5 to be determined because of attrition. I don't want to have that one guy can't go, so you're forced to play these 5. I wanted to know, and I still want to know, who's Liam Cohen going to pick? Who's going to be your starting right guard? Who's going to be your starting right tackle? And injuries are going to come. That happens, especially with the offensive line. I'd still like to see Harrison get a few more plays on the left side because, not to be a downer here on such a positive opening, but I think some will say it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, Walker Little goes out with an injury. And when that's the case, who is going to be your left tackle? Is it Fred Johnson? Or could it be Anton Harrison, going to the left side? You can play McCarry at tackle on the right side, and then, Chuma Edoga can be your right guard. We'll see, all right? Diami Brown back today. Liam Cohen said it was a lower body stiffness. He was tight. Really nothing to be overly concerned with, but, getting back another weapon. If you look at this first-team offense and what they did during those 2 drives, you set aside the drop by Brian Thomas Jr. He had another one today. Dropped a touchdown. 7-on-7. Dylan, have I done a show where I have not mentioned a drop during a training camp practice by Brian Thomas Jr.?
Maybe once or twice, 3 times. It's happened a lot.
And I automatically run through the obligatory, he's your best player, don't be concerned. It's happening every day. And it's happened in 3 drives, 2 drives, he dropped balls, right? He dropped the ball against Pittsburgh. He dropped the ball the other afternoon against New Orleans. And, I still think he's their best player, but this is happening day after day after day after day. I guess if Brian Thomas has 8 receptions for 125 yards and a touchdown, he drops one, okay, you can accept that. But still, it's a tiny bit alarming for me right now, and I believe it should be for you as well. So, last week this offense, or 2 days ago, this offense went out and did some really good things outside of the drop and outside of the, the fumble that can't happen with Ezra Cleveland, Lawrence, and Tank. You navigated through New Orleans without Diami Brown and without Travis Hunter, and that's saying a lot. Really, the only negative news today was an update on Wyatt Milam. He's week to week, and also an update on another rookie in Caleb Ransaw, who is week to week. But overall, Hunter, Travis Hunter, Tyson Campbell, Eric Armstead, Mason Smith, Anton Harrison, Chuma Edoga, Diami Brown, all returned to practice today. That is a great thing for the Jaguars. And we'll see, if there are any setbacks tomorrow or, what they'll do on a Wednesday, again, before they head on out to get to Miami and practice on Thursday. All right, we're going to be busy here over the next couple of hours. Looking forward to talking with Charles Robinson. Done an outstanding job for decades covering the NFL. He rolled through Duval last week and had an opportunity to watch some practice with him and talk with him. So interested in his thoughts, kind of a national perspective of a guy, coming in and going to a lot of different training camps. Also, Cam Little, caught up with him earlier today as well. Just so explosive. And, what a weapon that the Jaguars have as their place kicker. So we're going to do that coming up this hour as well. I will tell you that we start the show, as always, with the good folks at Shmunez Vision. And, it's really bothersome that people just neglect getting their eyes checked. It's amazing. It's so important, but it's just one thing that, I'll get to it, I'll get to it next month, this and that. Stop the delay, right? Make yourself an appointment today at Shmunez Vision. Update your prescription. While you're there, obviously, they're going to look at the health of your eyes. You may be dealing with an allergy right now. It's still hot out there, no doubt about it. And allergies run rampant. That may be something that you're dealing with. Also, while you're there, you may be a candidate for laser eye surgery. Just imagine the rest of your life never having to take out your contacts when you pass out or run through the house looking for your readers. It's incredible. Laser eye surgery. Okay, then there are surgeries that you may run into that are far more significant, right? Whether it's refractive surgery, whether it is cataract surgery. Well, Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, you're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience. Those are the three who will do the surgery, and they're going to sit down and talk with you and answer all your questions, like Dr. Neil Shmunez did with me 9 years ago when I just rolled in for an appointment. And he said, brother, you need surgery immediately. And he removed it the next morning. There's never been a problem. Go to Shmunez Vision online. Also go to Instagram. You can get all the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. All right, we're going to be busy here over the next 2 hours. I wouldn't have it any other way. Let's kick it off with Charles Robinson. He is with Yahoo Sports. He was in town last week to see a practice here at the Miller Electric Center. We'll start with Charles Robinson, then we'll get to the nuclear weapon. Place kicker Cam Little. It's all coming up this hour.
Get national insight from a local legend.
I know exactly who this man is.
Mike Duraco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Brightened by Lee and Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Cooking with Crisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a rollie.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
The team at Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to book your next round of golf with us. At Hidden Hills, we love the game, and we'll provide you with a memorable golf experience at one of the most unique golf courses in North Florida. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Hacker here. You know, those of you that have listened to me for years realize that I used to do a lot of different weight loss things, a lot of different things that I tried that just never worked for one reason or the other. And then Awaken 180 Weight Loss came along, and I heard Mike Dempsey and Matt Hayes talking about it, and I thought, you know what? What the heck? What do I have to lose? I'm going to give it a try. I had low expectations, to be honest, based on previous history, but I learned very quickly that Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the best weight loss program I was ever on. I dropped 19 pounds my first 2 weeks on Awaken 180 Weight Loss, went on to lose over 100 pounds total. I'm keeping the weight off with the Awaken 180 Weight Loss Maintenance Program. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, without a shadow of a doubt, is the best weight loss program I have ever been on, and the results speak for themselves. If it's time for you to lose some weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. You can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there as number 2 overall draft pick Travis Hunter, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and new head coach Liam Cohen take the field for the first time during the 2025 NFL regular season. Secure your seats for when the Jaguars take on the Panthers September 7th by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Very good day for the Jaguars, health-wise. And I mean, that is so important. You just look around the league and injuries. Obviously, trying to avoid them is massive. But if you're joining us, Hunter, Campbell, Armstead, Mason Smith, Anton Harrison, Shuma Edoga, Diami Brown, all returned today. Okay, they didn't all work in group work. I went through it at the top. I'll hit it again a little bit later on in the program. But yeah, it was a good day, health-wise, for Jacksonville. Tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. Okay, it's always a free call. It's always a free consultation at 400-6600. If you've been injured and, you're alone, you were personally injured, certainly that includes being in a vehicle. Your car's a wreck. It doesn't work. You can't get to work. You can't pay bills. Remember, you'll never come out of pocket at Alexander Law Practice. Make a phone call and ask questions. You'll be surprised what they can do to really help you through this process. Again, you'll never come out of pocket. Rick Alexander, you're talking about more than 30 years that he has done this. You can go to Alexander Law Practice to get all of the information. And here's what I'll tell you. You're going to get an immediate call back at 400-6600. You're also going to get the individualized attention that you deserve. Okay? Then they're going to put together a plan. And, the end result is going to be plentiful, and it's what you have earned. So take advantage of this. 400-6600, again, a free call at Alexander Law Practice, and you can check them out online at Alexander Law Practice.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Charles Robinson's a guy I've known for quite some time. He is the senior NFL reporter for Yahoo, and he goes into the night with Rick Ballou. Charles, I appreciate a few moments of your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rick. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. It's real interesting because you come here and, obviously everyone wants to get a view and get an opinion on Travis Hunter. I'm trying to remember. It's almost like a mirage training camp for me, but I want to say you were here during a day where he played both offense and defense.
Yeah, it was the day of the full on scrimmage. So when they ran the ones and the ones, the twos, the threes. And, it felt like a great time to come through because I got a chance to see him rotate through both.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the practice, though, when he dove deep. He was playing wide out, and he dove deep for that ball. He missed it, and he hit the ground really hard, kind of rolled over for a second, laid there.
Right.
And then he got up and shook it off, and I kind of wondered then. I was like, is he okay? Is there potentially a shoulder, knee, something happened? And he seemed okay when he walked it off, but obviously after that practice was when the caution kicked in, I think, and they ended up pulling him out of the Saints game.
Yeah, and I think they've done a really good job. It's been fluid, but they've worked him heavily in some days, and others they've just given him the day off, and that was the case late last week. And then with the upper body, he didn't play Sunday, and today just did a couple of light individual drills where he was going half speed, and then Charles, once they got into team play 11 on 11, once again Travis Hunter was on the sideline.
Yeah, and I think again this is to me a larger conversation about him, and really I think that it's the undercurrent of the entire thing is how much punishment is he going to be able to take on both sides of the ball. It's. I think I looked and it seems like the practice snaps throughout camp have actually been pretty even and put in a lot of work on both sides of the ball. But when I came through, I had a chance to talk to somebody, and I asked. They just said, "What's the template here? Let's talk about kind of the data set here." And the funny thing is, they have to create it. It's the Colorado data set. All that did was prove that Travis Hunter's got the opportunity to play both ways in the NFL, potentially be effective both ways in the NFL. But as far as the physical toll that it took on him, it's not apples to apples. I mean, the NFL punishment is just so severely different. The practice time is different. The study time in the classroom work is different. Schematically, the NFL is just the complication of offensive sets, defensive sets, adjustments. It's all an entire cut above. So the data set they're creating now is brand new. No one else has that. And in a way, it gives them an advantage because they're the only team right now in the NFL that's dealing with creating a template for having a two-way player. But at the same time, they're laying railroad track as they go. They don't know where this is going to go. And that's what makes this, I think, so interesting.
Charles Robinson, our guest, senior NFL reporter for Yahoo. He was in Duval last week, and I saw what you said on Yahoo about this, and I thought it was very intriguing there with the data. I think another way to possibly look at this, and I know we won't have results until probably halfway through the season, but there's not nearly as many plays in the NFL as there are in college football. Do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's not as many plays. Both offensively and defensively. I mean, so naturally you would think capping his, the number of opportunities for him to be on the field is going to be smaller than it would be in college. But again, I think the physicality of it and the complication of it is really part of what will dictate, how much he can really handle. And I appreciate the fact that, teammates have said he doesn't get tired, the level of stamina that he has, and that's great, but we haven't seen the games yet, right? And I think, of all the things that we're ultimately going to have to answer here, it's going to be, how are they going to use him schematically? So from one game to the next, and this was made pretty clear to me as I came through, it's not going to be black and white. It's not going to be like, some games it'll be 55% on offense, some games it'll be 45%. It may vary considerably more than that. I mean, there might be games where, the way they're approaching it, the mismatch that they have is to play him 85% on the offensive side and only 15% on the defensive side. And flip that ratio against another team if that's what really the matchups dictate. So it's not just total snap count between offense and defense. It's also percentages. Like they're going to lean into using him in ways that create mismatches and give them an edge, and knowing that opponents, when they come in each week, might be practicing to see Travis Hunter 90% on offense or have them as a considerable part of what they're dealing with defensively and scheming for. And then he just doesn't appear that much on that side of the ball. That's another element of the edge that I think they're trying to work out as they move forward.
Charles, it's a huge year for Trevor Lawrence. And, it feels like around here, the excuses have been valid, but they're also over. It's time in year 5. You were here for the scrimmage. It wasn't a good day for the offense. A ton of penalties, a lot of false starts. But did you see anything that you liked with Trevor Lawrence? Obviously, he's got weapons. What did you see when you were here last week?
Yeah, there were some drops too, right? I mean, that was another thing too. I mean, the offense could have been cleaner that day if guys were hanging on the ball. I think there were like 7 drops while I was there. Might have been more. I mean, there were times I was taking my eyes off the field, but I think the one thing that I heard that they're happy with and feel like they've seen strides already is that Trevor is like tall quarterbacks, particularly guys that are long. They can get pretty loose in their mechanics, and I think they've done a really good job starting to tighten up his mechanics. He's become a little more compact as a thrower. His footwork's a little cleaner. I think he even commented that day where he was talking about taking snaps in shotgun, and now it just kind of being rote memory, which foot should be forward. He doesn't think about it. He's thinking about it less. And that's really the challenge that, you have to deal with. Like Liam Cohen, when he was dealing with Baker Mayfield, I still think there were elements in Tampa of Baker thinking through his mechanics to try and keep them clean, and that slows down the processing of a quarterback. Once they can just, they mentally commit to it and they physically, it's just how they naturally perform is to keep their mechanics clean and they stop thinking. That's when things really start to slow down in terms of how they can operate, see defenses, and then their internal clock ends up doing the opposite, speeds up. And I think that's what the process is right now with Trevor. It's just trying to keep his mechanics as clean as possible and protect him, and then give him the opportunity to use all the skill position pieces around him. And I expect, Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby, if Liam Cohen's able to do for the Jaguars what he was able to do in Tampa Bay with that running game, I think they could just be a massive foundation that will really help Trevor take a really, really big step forward. And to me, I think if you can go into September saying, hey, our running game, we feel like it's in a really good spot, we can really move quickly with this, and then his mechanics are better, I think you've already taken a huge stride forward with Trevor's development.
Last question for you, Charles. Off the field, this is my biggest concern here in Duval. It's all firsts. It's a first for Tony Baselli. It's a first for James Gladstone. It's a first for Liam Cohen and Grant Udinski and Anthony Campanelli. And, when you have firsts, that typically comes with mistakes. So, in your opinion, realistically, what do you expect around here in year 1?
It's a good question. It's hard for me to answer because you're right. I mean, it's sometimes it's good because you don't know what you don't know, and there's nothing to be afraid of. And then sometimes it's really bad where, when I think of like when Nathaniel Hackett took over the Denver Broncos, there were a lot of firsts in front of him too. And at the time, and I remember going through Broncos camp at the time and thinking, wow, this seems really appealing. They're not afraid of anything. Like there's a lot of newness here. There's new people in new positions. And unfortunately what happened was it completely unraveled and went in the opposite direction. And it started with Nathaniel Hackett. I think the one thing that I like about the Jaguars is, I think Liam Cohen has been through enough varied experiences. He's worked with, some of the best people in the game. Same with James Gladstone. And you talk about first, it's really not just the personnel either. It's the systems. I mean, that was part of what was intriguing to me too. is just to know what their personnel process looks like, what their coaching process looks like, what their draft board now starts to look like. And all of that has changed over as well. I wish I could answer, what ultimately, is going to happen, how it's going to come together. I would say let the talent guide you, and I think this team has a ton of talent, particularly on offense. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be able to score a heck of a lot of points unless there's, unless Travis Hunter's development really is a steeper curve than I think it's going to be, unless the running game doesn't go where ultimately I think it can go, and unless, we've seen Trevor Lawrence's ceiling, and that's just ultimately how, where he's going to settle as sort of a middle tier quarterback. I don't know that those limitations are. I don't know that we've seen them under Liam Cohen yet, and if he can exceed that, I think it's a team that should be able to embrace a lot of talent on the roster. But yeah, I mean, it's the NFL, man. Like you and I go into every season, and we look back at the teams that were successful the year before, and we assume, hey, a lot of the same players are there. A lot of, they should be able to carry that success into the following season. And then we see them hit a brick wall. And then what we end up doing is sorting through the mess and trying to figure out what exactly happened and why, one year of success doesn't always carry over into another.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Charles Robinson, senior NFL reporter for Yahoo. You can get everything from Charles by going to Twitter or X at Charles Robinson. Charles, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I know we'll catch up again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, brother.
So he was here for the scrimmage, and that was not a good day. And they have improved mightily since that scrimmage, no doubt about it. But interesting perspective on Travis Hunter and this football team by Charles Robinson over at Yahoo. Okay, let's on the other side, let's do this. Let's bring in Cam Little. Had a chance to talk with him after today's practice. Just the leg is sensational. This is so encouraging here in town to have a leg like this, to have a weapon like this. And as I say all the time, I think Jacksonville has the best special teams in the NFL when you look at the kicker, the punter, the deep snapper. We'll see about coverage, and we'll see about, the return game. But I think when it comes to kicking and punting, absolutely, they are number one right now in the NFL. Two ways you can join us. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, if you're watching on YouTube tonight, you want to join the folks there, you can. Just go to YouTube, 1010XL into the night.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, or Beaver Mitsubishi in St. Augustine. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
After an accident, you may have an x-ray that looks normal, but you're still in pain. That's because soft tissue injuries like sprains and tears don't show up on x-rays. And if an insurance company doesn't see it, they may not believe you're hurt.
When they don't take your pain seriously, we fight back. We know doctors who are experts in diagnosing soft tissue injuries. They can help us prove that your pain is real, and we'll seek to get you paid for all of your future medical expenses.
Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Prosser here again for Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts you can trust. You might think you have a struggle ahead, but Chad and Sandy always have a solution, and ultimately it ends in a success story. Jacksonville area homes are selling, but getting the right price requires aggressive marketing and proven systems. Hiring the experts who know how to create demand is crucial. You need Chad and Sandy Newman. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, stress-free. But, man, they deliver with the promises. The local real estate experts you can trust. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Oh, and the proof is out there. Tom and Nicole in Mandarin. I got a new job in Louisiana. We found a new home. Now we'd have to sell fast to avoid paying 2 mortgages. Chad and Sandy did it. Use them today. ChadAndSandy.com. That's ChadAndSandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All the excitement of the return to health of 7 different Jaguars today. I didn't even mention Colin Saunders, immediately involved in the interior defensive rotation. Spoke with him after he met with us. We're going to play a little something from that coming up next hour. But I'll say this. The first impression, very, very impressive. Seems like a really good guy, okay? And, you know, he talked about team leadership. He talked about the importance of the locker room and being a team player. Again, he said all the right things. Remember, this was a big part of it all. You know, this whole character, and I've been doing this for 34 years. I had never heard in my life a football team talking about players who love the game of football. You know, it appears to me that, and I just met him for 10 minutes, that Colin Saunders guy loves football. So we shall see, but said all the right things today. And he obviously got here after the trade. And his first practice was earlier this morning at the Miller Electric Center. Okay, it was a big day as well at the Miller Electric Center, including my opportunity to talk with Cam Little. This was after the 17th training camp practice, and I had a few minutes with the Jaguars star kicker.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
All right, Tuesday practice in the books here with kicker Cam Little. You're off to a phenomenal start. I'm sure this is what you expected, but just take us through the way it's been so far, year 2 here at the Miller Electric Center.
Yeah, obviously going into year 2, looking a little different than year 1 as far as training camp and leading up to the season goes. I guess I was here an extra month and a half earlier than what I would have been last year. Just OTAs, kind of phase 1 leading up into phase 2. So, no, it's been great. obviously been kicking the ball really well. Kind of finding form early, which is great. You always want to start out high. You never want to start out on a bad foot, because then you got to climb back and try and make some kicks to help that percentage, help our team out. But yeah, starting off to a good start, so it's nice.
Position players always talk about the difference between being a rookie and then year two. What about being a kicker? How much has changed for you?
Yeah, I don't think a lot has changed as far as my preparation. I found success year one with the kind of preparation that we kind of had. And so I kind of wanted to carry that into year two and kind of keep the same kind of routine. I'm a big believer in routines, and I think a lot of specialists are, a lot of elite specialists are at least. And so I wanted to kind of continue the regimen, and obviously Heath, can't thank him enough for the kind of program he's put me through, the situations he puts me in, the coaching he gives me. It's probably the best coaching I've ever received, so props to him. And obviously, returning with Logan and Ross, those two are the best in the business at what they do, and I can't exaggerate that enough, how good they are at their jobs. So it was a good process leading back up.
What as far as the preparation, does the leg get tired at times? Do you take a day off here and there? How does that all work out?
Yeah, I can equate it to kind of like a pitch count.
Okay.
You swing your leg a lot, and when you go those heavy kick days, you don't want to over kick, because stuff will start getting sloppy. If you start over kicking, you start missing balls toward the end. Well, fatigue sets in eventually with everybody, whether that's pitcher, kicker, golfer, and you don't want to start building bad habits. And so I think there is something to be said about that part of it. But I think equally, you got to get a lot of reps. You want to get put in situations where you feel like you're in game, and I think Liam and Coach Heath do a great job of putting me in those game-like situations. Let me feel some pressure in practice, whether that's 2-minute drill. We're driving the ball down the field. Okay, all of a sudden we got to kick field goal. I love getting put in those situations. They press me for real game scenarios.
Your range is ridiculous. 70 yards, and it had some. Do you know? Do you have an idea of what your limit is, or can adrenaline make it go an extra couple of yards?
I think adrenaline probably does add a couple yards, especially I think, adrenaline game day is a lot different than just, your normal practice. Obviously, you treat game and practice very similar, but there's just something about going into a big stadium, putting on for your city, and you get a little bit of extra yards in your adrenaline. So, no, but, whatever field goal I'm asked to go out there to kick, whatever, obviously Coach Cohen and Heath are comfortable throwing me out there for, I'm fully expected to go out there and put 3 points on the board for us. So,
what's it like on the sideline? Are you, dreaming about the perfect kick? You dreaming about a game-winning kick? I'm sure it's a lot easier on you when the team is scoring a lot of touchdowns and maybe not as much pressure. What's that whole mental side like?
Yeah, I think during the game I try to remain as relaxed as possible. I was actually talking to Jarian Jones about this the other day. He's like, man, do you get a bunch of adrenaline, like you trying to stay really excited on the sidelines? I'm like, well, I'm really trying not to get involved in the game too much. I don't want to, show too much emotion, whether we have an amazing play or, a busted play. Like, I don't want that to affect my play at all. And so I try to remain pretty level-headed, and I think I can equate a lot of that to Logan. Logan keeps me really calm. He's from, just a cool Mississippi boy. They're really calm down there. So he keeps me very level-headed, and, it's good to have those two leaders kind of pacing me through the game, telling me, hey, let's relax, let's do our job. Everyone else is going to do theirs.
Saw Logan make a kick today, had a field goal.
Yeah.
I watch all the time, but I haven't seen. Do you work on punting as well in case there's an emergency?
Yeah, I was a punter back in high school. I got recruited as a punter to a couple schools, but I try to just stay sharp when I can in that area, just in case something does happen to where I have to go out there. So I could do it if Logan were to go down. Obviously, as Logan, you saw Logan drill a 48-yarder today. I think he smashed it. So he's got quite the leg. So he's a pretty good kicker as well.
Yeah. Last one for you. They keep changing the rules as far as kickoffs. What's this like? Is it like a gap wedge compared to a pitching wedge? What's that?
It's different. It's different for sure. Like, I was obviously in college, told to hit touchbacks all the time. We don't want any return yards. Some teams wanted to take it out in college, see if they could pin them deeper, but we were a big touchback team, and even last year we were primarily a touchback team, and so it's a whole different ballgame trying to place it, And our coverage team did really good this past weekend. We take pride in covering our kicks, and obviously it shows in game day. So we're going to try and work a couple balls where we pin them deep, and obviously try and tackle them inside the 20.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you.
Thank you, Cam. Cam Little, that was earlier today. I just looked it up, and if I had known, I would have wished him a happy birthday. He turned 22 on Sunday. Imagine being 22 years of age and having that type of leg. Hey, he's right here in Duval, and he's got an opportunity to have an enormous year. I don't think there's any doubt about it. All right, we got a ton to do. 641-1010 if you want to get on in on our text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also getting a lot of good stuff, as always, by those on YouTube. 1010XL into the night.
In your car, at home, or on your phone, radio play-by-play is where you are.
What a game for the Jacksonville defense.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Now this is how you end a summer. Under the lights, surrounded by history. The driver's last shot at the playoffs. Your last chance to see regular season action. Friday night, Xfinity lights the fuse. Saturday night, the Cup Series delivers the fireworks. This is Daytona. This is everything. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 22nd and 23rd. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
One man, one hammer. One place to hear it drop. Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic.
Hey, it's Joe C. Summer in Jacksonville means the sun is hot, the grills are fired up, and your water heater probably full of sludge.
Nah, not mine.
Think, when was the last time you flushed your water heater out? It's okay, you could say it.
Probably never.
Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan.
They sure don't make them like they used to.
So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059 or at plumberandjacks.com. Roland Reese Plumbing.
E.T. here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, you have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits. You have the right to choose your own doctor, too. And I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation, the auto accident experts.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. Frank Frangie here for the farm at Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. Explore trails, kayak Blackwater creeks, or harvest from your own land. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
We've all seen great overtime games and thrilling finishes, but when it comes to having a big time, knowing when to say when is key. Budweiser reminds you to win the day and night by designating a driver. That's a victory every time.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
final training camp practice. I got a lump in the throat. As much as I hate getting up, I love going out there and watching them practice. I mean, you'll get visibility once you get in the regular season, but it's basically just, the stretch, maybe some individual stuff. And that's common league-wide. I mean, all 32 teams, they throw the media out because they're preparing. It's their game plan. They're putting in their offense, putting in their defense, and having the other side run your opponent's offense and defense. It's only common, but, I really appreciate the opportunity to be out there. That, as I've always said, this is my favorite time. And this includes OTAs, minicamp, voluntary, and mandatory minicamps. I love it because you can observe and you can analyze and you can talk about it, and it's not measured with wins and losses. That all changes in a couple of weeks. Dylan Denmark is our producer. How are you doing over there?
Everything's good, man. I'm just waiting for college football to get here Saturday.
How about that, huh?
It all starts at noon. Kansas State, Iowa State.
Dublin.
And I probably won't watch much of the afternoon. UNLV and Idaho State doesn't really entice me.
Mm-hmm.
But, we got football this Saturday, and it all starts next weekend. I mean, we have a buttload of games, and then the NFL starts. So
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm counting down the days, but the days are getting near.
They certainly are. And, on that Saturday, there's a lot of, still a lot of preseason for the Jaguars as well. I see there's a couple of games Thursday night. There's a few games on Friday night. I thought the Jags were playing at 4. I see it listed here at 7.
Yeah, they're playing at 7.
Okay. So it'll be a night game at Miami. And, I wouldn't expect that starters are going to go. They certainly had 2 really good series, both offensively and defensively, against the Saints. What is really going to be important is tomorrow and then Thursday, okay? Practicing against the Miami Dolphins, going up against another NFL team. Typically, you do this for 2 days. They're only doing it for 1. And, Liam Cohen earlier today talked about how, he does hope that Travis Hunter is able to practice against the Miami Dolphins. I would be absolutely shocked if Travis Hunter plays against the Miami Dolphins in the game. Someone was asking me earlier on YouTube, CRS092, about Travis Hunter, and has he been lining up? What position has he been playing? Has he been lining up against the primary wide receiver, the number 2, number 3 wide receiver? Well, that's all pretty fluid. My estimation would be, and we saw it in the game as well, most of his snaps have been on the left side as a corner. He has also played on the right side. But I think when he's in there, it's going to be intriguing to see what the defensive scheme is. Are they going to flip? Are they going to keep Tyson Campbell with the number 1 wide receiver? Not as many teams do that. Typically, it's left and right. It's boundary and it's field as far as the cornerback position is concerned. But there's so much movement that we have seen in different layers. The defensive line, the linebackers, the safeties, and you got a little bit of a taste against the Saints, certainly much more than what you saw against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, you saw some blitzes. You saw a few from the linebackers. You saw one from the safety in Dewey Wingard. I don't know the answer to that question, but I would assume that when Hunter's out there, he's either getting the number 1 wide receiver or he's getting the number 2 wide receiver. But it's a really good question, and it's one that I don't have an answer for at this particular time. So, as we move forward, we'll get much more on that. Okay, let's get ready for our second hour. Now, Lawrence Stample, some Florida State Seminole talk. How about the Colts today? Daniel Jones is your starting quarterback, not Anthony Richardson. Boy, the dysfunctional AFC South continues. What do you have yesterday? Cam Ward going at it with Jeffrey Simmons. Now the Colts are saying that Daniel Jones is going to be the guy asked to go out and win some football games. So we have all that to get into as well in our second hour, and obviously much more on the Jaguars. 641-1010. That is the best way to join us on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also getting a lot of stuff in tonight. It is appreciated. If you want to join them on YouTube, you can. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
Through thick and thin,
I love my Jaguars.
your home for Jaguars football
Forever and ever and ever.
is 1010XL.
Big number one Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big number one Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big number one Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
UB40, the Relentless Tour 2025. This Saturday night, St. Augustine Amphitheater, with special guest, The Fix. Get tickets now at AXS.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 19th, 1921, Ty Cobb becomes the fourth and youngest player to achieve 3,000 career hits, achieving the milestone against the Boston Red Sox.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com, enter 1010 for a discount.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in at a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next two house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. So start now by calling 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next two payments. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned, whether you're sitting or standing. If you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jacks. Go Jags.
When your plumbing backs up, your septic's acting shady, or your AC quits on a 95-degree day, who are you going to call? Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Don't take just our word for it. Here's what real customers are saying about their experience with our company.
Megan in the office was so helpful and polite. Scheduling was easy, and the tech showed up right on time.
From plumbing and septic to air conditioning, we do it all. Call 904-862-6769 or online at duckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Upgrade her diamond ring this summer with no money down and zero interest for 5 years. Don't miss this killer offer from Beard's Diamonds. 5 years, zero interest financing till the year 2030. Not just on engagement rings, also on earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Buy now and pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. So that $5,000 gift comes out to just $85 a month. Beard's Diamonds is Jacksonville's locally owned source for exquisite jewelry. We can do things the big corporate jewelers can only dream of, like lowering interest rates all the way down to zero. All GIA certified diamonds are included in this. Rounds, princess cuts, ovals, pear shapes, cushion cuts, emerald cuts. Whether you get a $5,000 diamond or a $50,000 diamond, you can spread your payments over 5 whole years. Get the Beard's Diamonds unbeatable price. Pay zero down and spread your payments over 5 years. But hurry, this is a limited time offer that ends August 31st and will not be extended. Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beards. On approved credits, some restrictions apply. See store for details.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguar talk coming up in about 15 minutes. Florida State has wrapped up another practice. They did so on a Tuesday morning. Let's bring in our Florida State analyst. Always a lot of fun to talk FSU with Niall Lawrence Stampo. He goes into the night with Rick Ballou. How are you, Niall?
I'm good. How you doing, Rick?
I'm doing great. I really am. Now, when you played and won a national title, you were never a huge underdog. An underdog maybe very few times, and it probably would have been 3 points or less. What do you think it's like for these players now to practice in this heat every day, knowing that they're a home underdog by as much as 13, maybe 14 points?
It's different. It's a different feeling. I have to assume, at least for the culture, right, of Florida State. But as far as the players, a lot of the players are new, right? So all these transfer portal guys and all these other players, they knew what they were coming into, right? I think we've had a whole season to digest that because we didn't look good at the beginning, we didn't look good at the end. So I think a lot of the players are probably settled in, right? And they've been playing with a certain amount of understanding that there is only going up from here.
Yeah. You know, I was looking at the schedule and just how many one-sided games. It was unlike anything I've really ever seen with Florida State. 10-point and more losses. So you got to fix that. You can make it was bad coaching. It was bad play calling. It was bad performance by players. Now that Mike Norvell realizes that and has changed things, and he's going to hand Gus the keys and say, run this offense, Gus Malzahn. What do you think of him kind of taking on the role of what Bobby Bowden did later in his career, and that's overseeing everything within this football organization?
It's going to be, I have to assume it's going to be a pretty weird dynamic for Norvell, but with Norvell kind of moving outside of that play caller role, I think he's going to see a lot more. I think he's going to be able to be visually understanding of some of the different things, because we have analysts upstairs, right? So you have those guys upstairs that are looking at everything that's going on. But some of those things we're seeing, they have to be seeing, and they never got fixed, right? So I think you have more time in order to fix those things. I think you'll have a little bit more of a unbiased opinion, because when you're running those plays and you have your game plan in mind, it's very tunnel vision, right? It's really hard to kind of see some of those different things that other coaches are seeing and probably giving you advice about. So I think that tunnel vision will be gone. I think you'll be able to get in Gus's ear and kind of say, hey, this is kind of my thoughts. You run with it or not. But I think we're going to see an overall better play just because Norvell will have more of a jurisdiction around the team itself.
Yeah, that's going to be really intriguing, and I don't know if we'll ever know the answer to that. We used to kid Bowden about it, where he'd want to run a reverse or maybe get the tight end involved, but it was always Brad Scott. It was always Mark Richt. It ended up being, Jeff Bowden before Jimbo. But, Bobby in his day when he got there was a phenomenal play caller, but then he ended up giving it up. I would love to know what the veto power is like. If Gus is doing something and Jimbo's, Mike Norvell is like, no. We need to do this instead.
And I have to assume we're going to see some of that. But if Gus is what Norvell brought in, he brought him in for a reason. So we would hope to think that Norvell is going to allow him to do his job, allow him to be able to see what's going on, game plan throughout the week, and execute the game plan. And that's why you run it. You game plan and you do those things. But also, one thing that Jimbo was good at was adjustments, right? We made those halftime adjustments. Those adjustments were key. We didn't make very good halftime adjustments this past season. So I think with Gus being able to call the plays, Norvell being able to kind of oversee some things, I think we probably have a better adjustment in the halftime locker room. And going forward, we'll see if Norvell can have the restraint that he probably should have this upcoming season.
It's a great point. Not only was Jimbo Fisher great at making adjustments, but defense coordinator Jeremy Pruitt was one of the best I've ever seen.
Oh, he was great. He was great, man. I'm going to tell you what. Jeremy Pruitt is a absolute genius, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think he does get a lot from Florida State fans, but he doesn't. But he is a absolute genius. The way that he came in and the way that he implemented that defense coming in from just a regular base, there was a lot to learn there, and Jeremy figured it out. He dialed it in. He had the right players, and it was like poetry in motion. I would say halfway through training camp, everyone was pretty much dialed in. So he is a top tier coach. I hope to see some adjustments come up.
Now, Lawrence Stample, our guest, he joins us here each and every Tuesday night to talk about Florida State. Of course, Niall played on the national championship team. Going back now about, 12 years, and as well played defensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns. So let's talk about this interior defensive line a little bit. You've got a star, as they know, in Darrell Jackson. Still waiting for some of these other guys to emerge. We were just talking about it off air. A blow here. Looks like Kevin Wynn has been set back with an injury.
Yeah, and Kevin Wynn I think he's going to be a top-tier player. He has got the size. He's physical. He's strong. He's got really good pad level. I think he's a Florida State guy. He committed early, right? So he was a shoo-in, and he stuck with it. I think he will be a Seminole for the rest of his career. At least I hope so. Yep. And I love that we are going to have an opportunity to play him some this season, at least from what it looks like. It doesn't look like Alabama's going to happen, but I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Our interior guys look solid. But Deontay McCray, Coach Novell just talked about him, and seeing him in camp, he is he's a physical specimen when it comes to being a kind of a interior mauler that can hold the point of attack, be able to open up double teams, but also be able to play a little bit outside, athletic. He's a great size defensive tackle. I think he's going to play some heavy roles this upcoming season.
I haven't heard a lot about Daniel Lyons. Did you see anything with him when you were here watching practice at UNF? Yeah,
Daniel Lyons has slowly progressed. What I see Daniel Lyons is, if you remember Demonte McAllister, he wasn't very big, but he had good technique. So he was able to play with some bigger guys, but he had a difficult time of holding the point of attack. That's what we're going to see a little bit with Daniel Lyons, being able to hold it, stay in there, and allow your linebackers to flow. One thing to counteract that is having our linebackers flow a little quicker when bigger guys aren't in. Yeah. That'll allow that offensive line to kind of take that next step.
I'm glad you mentioned the linebackers. I got to say this. If you look at a year ago, there weren't a lot of guys who improved, right? Omar Graham may be the exception. I watched him early on, and I was like, what is this man doing playing at Florida State? He shouldn't even be on the field. At the end of the year, he was arguably one of their best players.
Omar Graham flashed towards the back end of the season, and it became consistent to where at that point it was kind of like, all right, you can be that guy. But I love Omar Graham's mindset right now. When I was in training camp, I went up to him and I was like, listen, this is your year. No one can take this away from you. But I think Omar Graham is going to be a great fill when it comes to this season because he's physical, he's large, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's playing smarter. He's healthy. And that's one of the biggest things that I heard is just him being healthy has been the biggest contributor to him being able to kind of up his game and get into that next level. I hope he stays healthy because he's going to be a game changer for the season.
We know the media does not get access. They're not able to cover the scrimmages. They're not able to cover practice. But when Mike Norvell speaks or a coordinator speaks or a player speaks, we're hearing a lot of consistency as far as focus, as far as being invested, as far as you've acquired guys that apparently want to play at Florida State. Now, I'm sure this is typical. I'm sure this is typical for a ton of camps across the college landscape, but what do you think about hearing those type of words describing the way it has gone so far with the game coming up in a week and a half?
I think that it is perfect because in my mind, I've been thinking that going into this upcoming season, for the first time, at least from last season, we kind of know what we have right? As a squad, we kind of know what we have. Last year, there were so many players that hadn't been proven, hadn't actually made impacts in any games, and really it was a lot of fingers crossed. Whereas this season, majority of the guys that we have, at least that are starting or going to potentially start, have contributed major playing time in college football. If it's not at Florida State, at another top level collegiate school. So I'm very happy about that, because at the end of the day, when coaches evaluate and coaches have to put you in a certain position, they have to know what they got. And last year, that wasn't the case.
Yeah. And last year it just fell apart in Dublin. And again, it was pretty bizarre. They used 3 running backs in that first drive, and they rotated some offensive line. Almost felt greedy instead of just taking what was there and was in front of them. I know we talked about it last week, but it's something that we're going to talk about all the time. Right now, it looks like 4 of the 5 offensive linemen are going to be redshirt senior transfers, brand new to this offensive line. And you bring up the C words: camaraderie, continuity, chemistry. Boy, it's going to take a while to get that going.
I think it's going to take a while. And that's I would say, out of every position on the field, I would say the only one that is kind of a fingers crossed situation and not really knowing what you have is going to be the offensive line. Though they all have a significant amount of experience and they have multiple snaps, there's not one offensive line that doesn't have significant snaps in college football. That continuity, like you said, and them being able to work together is super important. I don't know if it's something that will take a long time, depending on how bad they want it, depending on the game plan and the scheme that we're running. Those things all kind of play a factor, but it's kind of one of those things. Fingers crossed, but I think hopefully we'll figure it out.
All right. Anything else going on that I missed? Anything that you can think of that has been pretty important in the last week since we've had a conversation about Florida State?
I would say the only other part of what we have is going to be, when we spoke about it, but it's going to be the depth at defensive line. And obviously with Darryl Jackson holding it down in the middle, if that's something that possibly happens, it's going to be kind of tough.
Yeah.
So other than that, I think we're kind of solid. I think we're solid. I think we should be in good shape.
All right. And, hey, next week we'll be previewing Alabama. They lost their star running back the other day, but we know they got a stable of 4- and 5-star guys who can tote the rock there in Tuscaloosa. Niall Lawrence Stample, you're a business owner as well with NLS Cleaning. What's going on there?
Yeah, man. Again, we're doing a special right now. If you've heard the ad, we're running a 20% off for anyone that is getting their place cleaned up, windows washed, gutter cleaning. All you have to do is mention the ad that you hear on 1010XL, and we'll be more than happy to take care of you. This is a great time of year in order for us to try to help some of our clients get some of their places cleaned up. And yeah, things are great. You can reach us at 904-708-8802. 904-708-8802, and we provide pressure washing, gutter cleaning, and window washing.
How about the website?
Niall, it is nlscleaning.net.
Always a lot of fun. Good to see you, Niall.
Good seeing you too, Rick.
Niall Lawrence Stample, ladies and gentlemen, our Florida State analyst, the very latest coming out of God's country. All right, let's get you involved with the program. 641-1010 on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us. A lot of folks watching on YouTube tonight. You want to join them? You can. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
There's a key that opens a very special door. The Jaguars locker room. Go in the locker room with Hayes Carlyon to get closer to the Jags. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
1010XL and Channel 4 are partnering to bring you more high school football coverage than ever before. Check out our live streaming show on the multimedia platforms for both 1010XL and Channel 4 as games are happening live, debuting August 22nd, presented by Farah and Farah.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatersparking.com and book your space today.
Let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Performance Painting, we spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Divorce, menonly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Summer's wrapping up, and life is picking back up. Early mornings, long days, and a to-do list that doesn't quit. And neither should you. Who has time to slow down due to body pain? That's why there's Aleve to keep you going. With just one pill, Aleve delivers longer-lasting body pain relief per dose compared to other leading OTC-branded pain relievers. Aleve helps you keep moving from sunup to sundown with up to 12 hours of pain relief per dose, so you can keep moving and be ready for whatever's next. Use as directed.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Oh, boy. Comments coming in on Florida State right now are not good. Thank you to Niall Lawrence Stample. 0981, fire Norvell if he hits 4 losses. We're tired of this BS. It's just one after another. Okay, let's slide on over here to YouTube. I've never felt so much apathy in my entire life as an FSU fan. Fire Norvell if he hits 5 losses. Here's another one. DJU's got to be investigated as one of the worst I've ever seen in an FSU offense. Right, they should have overpaid for Cam Ward. That's what they should have done. But they did not. They went with DJU, and that offensive line was terrible. I'm trying to taper my expectations But just saying that boils my blood. I mean, it really does. It was Joel Klatt. I read his opinion on Florida State, and I thought it was about as truthful as it can be. The norm is a losing season. The 2 10-win seasons were the exception to the rule. Mike Norvell's had 3 losing seasons in 5 years. And, right now, they're an underdog in those 4 huge games, right? Bama, Miami, Florida, and Clemson. And the thinking is they're going to lose those 4 games. 8-4 for me is not good enough. It's not. Now, I understand they were 2-10 a year ago. But what if they lose at 10:30 at night at Stanford? Going to NC State's a tough game. It is. And this could be a 6-6, 7-5. I'm telling you, if it's that, I don't care about the recruiting. They're off to a good start. But to me, this should be the end of the road. Hopefully they coach well. And hopefully the players respond. It's still Florida State. And it has been just absolutely miserable. So here's one we can't miss on hiring Kenny Dillinger or Deion Sanders. It's Kelly Dillingham. Deion Sanders, we have to get rid of Norvell. Yeah, that'd be one of the 2 that I would look at. The other one would be Lane Kiffin. Deion's always been my choice, but I don't know if he's long for this. He's had some personal issues with his lower body. He just, didn't he just have like a cancer scare and another operation as well? Poor Deion Sanders, man. Literally head to toe. He's had all sorts of health problems. So, and a lot of Florida State fans are like, oh, we don't want Deion. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Shake yourself. I don't care if Deion offended you. Deion Sanders, can you imagine what he would do at Florida State if you allowed him to get the best coaches that he can get? Think of Deion Sanders recruiting where he played, okay, and getting the right coaches.
Warren Sapp would be one of them that's already coaching for him. How many years would it be if I said Deion Sanders comes to Florida State? How many years would you take right now and be like, I'm good? I would take, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. What's that number?
Yeah, I'd hope 10. I hope he could give you 10 years where, it was college football playoff worthy in a very winnable conference with Deion Sanders. But again, my doubt is his overall health and his want. Deion could fall back and be a broadcaster and not have the pressure on him. So, that has to be something, okay? We still do not know how good of a coach Deion Sanders is. He had phenomenal talent with his son and Travis Hunter and some others. But I believe in the right position. You put Deion in Tallahassee and you surround him with the ability to go out and get the best offensive and defensive coordinator that he believes are available and position coaches. Can you imagine him recruiting? Be just spectacular. Now, Kelly Dillingham and Lane Kiffin may be the more realistic option when it's said and done, but we'll see. I don't want to. I don't want to be the guy, but I just have a feeling I'm going to be firing Mike Norvell really early this year. Now, I fired Leonard Hamilton 20 years ago, and he never got the memo. So it matters very little, but we'll see. It's still it's an absurd buyout. And Florida State's been just throwing away money. The stadium, the lawyer fees. Man, I saw some pictures of this new state. You're like asking the fans to be a wine and cheese crowd, like these luxury lazy boy seats with drink hole. You supposed to stand up and scream when you're on defense. Have you seen any of the looks of the new stadium yet?
I've seen the construction. I haven't seen like the pictures of what the stadium's supposed to look like.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Reclining leather seats or whatever in the lazy boy fashion. And I guess the real high donors and those who spent all this money will enjoy it. But, forget about that. They never should have touched the stadium.
It's almost similar to the Jags a little bit. How it's like right between the between the 30s. The suite's pretty low, right behind the bench.
And what hurts around here is that when it's so hot, people are in the East and West Club. When you get the view on television of the stadium, people will say, "Oh, the Jaguar fans didn't show up. Look, there's no one there." Well, wrong. Instead, you got thousands of people inside because it's cooler, and they're just watching the game there, or they're literally drinking, watching the game on television.
Yeah, it's just another example of, the working class family. You have to spend so much money, and if you want to go to a game, it's only going to be one game instead of, buying season tickets as it would have been, 20, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Florida, Texas, I think we've talked about this. Guess what those tickets are right now? At its lowest, they were on sale about 2 months ago.
$300 a pop?
Yep, that's about right. I mean, it's like, what's the point?
No.
You can be at home, you can be in your AC, you can enjoy the game, and have just as good of a time.
Oh, yeah. I've been asked a few times about the Alabama game, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I mean, I'm good. I'll be alone with a bottle, okay, and hopefully not my phone. Hopefully I'll leave my phone in my bedroom so I don't get on it and start arguing with people on Twitter. It's useless. It is. I don't like to argue, okay, about what's going on with the football team. It's great because, during a Jags game, I tweet absolutely everything. And people want to know, and they ask, but college football is so damn personal. If I come out and say that sucked, Florida State, you're a Gator. It's so weird to me how it is so personal with my listeners or my followers when it comes to Florida State and the Jaguars. It's very, 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 very few who tell me to go back to Boston and say, come on, admit it, Ballou, you're really a New England Patriots fan. I mean, no matter what I say about the Jags, whether you agree or disagree, the conversation continues about what is going on with the team or the game. Florida State? Oh, it's Ballou. He hates FSU. Oh, it's Ballou. And I know this happens to a lot of people in a lot of towns, in a lot of college campuses, in a lot of cities. I've had incredible, opportunities to change that. And I won't. I'm never going to change it. Never going to stop telling the truth. I see all this Auburn stuff today. People are asking, Auburn claimed what did they claim? Like 4 more national titles today or something like that?
Yeah, how weird is that? Have you ever heard of that?
No. Well, Alabama's done it forever. They are, honestly, it's like Alabama will say in 1934, Charlie's Tack Shop announced in downtown Birmingham announced that Alabama is the national champion.
Now was that like, they said that in December of 1934? Did they wait 40 to 50 years later and then say, hey, we won this title, actually. Right. So we're going to raise a banner.
Mm-hmm. That's what started with me on the bad side, okay? When I was covering this team and they were the tops, but they'd blow it. I just couldn't control myself, okay? Even in Bowden's first national title, that is one of the greatest Houdinis in Florida State history. You kicked it on 3rd down. You allowed Nebraska to get the ball back and attempt a game-winning field goal. You played those corn-fed guys in a phone booth. You got away from the fun and gun, and you tried to take on a big, powerful Nebraska team by beating them up in the ditch. It was a pathetically coached game. And that came right after 91 and 92, the wide rights, okay? Awfully coached games. 1987, up 19-3 against Miami in the fourth quarter. You got two Hall of Famers in your secondary, and Deion Sanders and Leroy Butler, and you have Tracy Sanders on Michael Irvin? I know they had Blades and Perryman. They were loaded. But that's bad coaching. I mean, as much as I love Bobby Bowden, in big games, man, he did not coach well. 97 in the swamp. How the hell can you let Florida beat you after what happened in 96 with the rematch? That's where I got on odds with Florida State fans because they didn't want to hear it. Even though they believe it, they didn't want to hear it. They want me to massage it, right? Oh, it's a Gator town, Ballou. Say something. Well, no. No. Not when they blow it. Okay? I mean, I see Florida State fans like bending over backwards, embracing Snoop Minnis, Marvin Minnis. He graduated from college like a year or two ago. He blew a national title for him by flunking out of school. That and Mark Richt, okay? I blew it. If Snoop Minnis plays, they beat Oklahoma. Yet you got Florida State fans who I define as sheep that, oh, we love Snoop, you know, that great fake, Wakey to Clem, you know, against. Okay, let's get right to it. They win another national title if he plays in that game, and he did not play in that game. Selfish by flunking out of school. So, admittedly, I'm going to look at things differently. I wouldn't have retired the number of Terrell Buckley. His biggest moment, he failed. He was on his heels in wide right one and allowed that to Horace Copeland. Okay? The biggest moment, Terrell Buckley, he failed. He did, yet they retire his number. So, enough of this. Get me back to the Jaguars, where at least I'm sane. Niall Lawrence Stample, every Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen, at 7 o'clock. We'll take a look at the very latest. Let me take a look at my phone right now. T-minus how many days until Mike Norvell is gone? Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
I-9 Sports is geared up for fun for kids all over the First Coast with fall and winter registration open right now. Kids ages 3 to 17 get in the gym or on the field with I-9 Sports, covering Clay, Duval, and St. John's. And I-9 has all-girls flag football at Oakley, UNF, Fletcher, and Creekside. Plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast to take advantage of. Don't miss out. Registration open now for fall and winter at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's a Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs. Homegrown and now with fries.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Football can be categorized as an ex-wife. I mean, it can. An ex-wife who took half and more. And that applies if you're a Jaguars Seminole fan a year ago. Let's do the math. 6 wins and 23 losses. Oh, my God. That is freaking pathetic. 6 and 23. What an absolutely miserable fall. And where did the Gators end up? 8-4, 7-5. Where did you guys end up?
7-5, and they won the bowl game.
Okay, 8-5.
Correct.
It's a good year. You know, considering you were
dead in the water by
that schedule and get ready to fire all those guys.
Yeah.
You just hope. I mean, listen, you just hope for better. Obviously, I think the Jaguars are going to be able to, I would think double that win intake. Make my final prediction right before the start of the year, which is coming up in just a couple of weeks. Very good day today for the Jaguars, if you did not hear. Okay, the return to health of Travis Hunter, Tyson Campbell. Oh, not the return to health, but they did practice today. Hunter, Campbell, limited. Armstead and Smith inside. That was very encouraging. Harrison and Edoga on the offensive line. And Diami Brown as well came back. Some lower body stiffness. He was tight. Didn't play on Sunday. Matter of fact, I'm going to play a cut here in just 1 minute with the newly acquired Colin Saunders. But I'm looking on YouTube, 1010XL, into the night, and certainly getting a lot on the text line. All of a sudden, the Gators have arrived. And we're getting such stuff as I love Norvell in Tallahassee. Sign Norvell to a contract extension. All right. Norvell just rode the coattails of Jordan Travis. And what happened? 13. Yeah. He was phenomenal, Jordan Travis. Okay. But Norvell also didn't have him ready against whoever the hell they played, Northern Alabama, whatever it was. I mean, to be down 13-0 and to have to take your quarterback and run him to try to make a play. Okay. That's bad coaching. Florida State should have been up 13-0.
Or when they played Boise week 1 a couple of years ago.
Jordan Travis, take him the hell out of the game, and go to your backup because you're destroying a competitor like that. But the exact opposite happened. That's coaching, Dylan.
Yeah, it is. And I remember that Boise game a couple of years ago. I forget when it was, what year. It was Wilson, that D tackle. It was his last year he played at Florida State.
He was a bust, Marvin Wilson.
I remember Boise had to fly in. Remember the game was supposed to be here in Jacksonville, hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
So Boise missed a day of practice. Florida State's at home the whole time, and Florida State just looked unprepared the entire game.
That's been huge under Mike Norvell. Bad in-game management, lack of adjustments, just poor coaching. I mean, playing prevent defense against Jacksonville. I mean, not playing prevent defense against Jacksonville State. I mean, who does that? So I think the end is near. I hope I'm wrong. Be great if you could salvage this and bring in this recruiting class. Okay. Certainly that. I've never been one of those, hey, I want to prove that I'm right at the expense of my alma mater. I want them to fix it. Okay. And I'd be more than happy to eat crow if that is the case. All right, Colin Saunders, newest member. This is a guy with a lot of experience. He's played in, I think it's 78 games. He has been to 6 playoff games. He's got a Super Bowl rings, playing with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was involved in this trade. And, here's a guy who was part of a different defense a year ago. Everyone's favorite coach here in Duval, Brendan Stokely, was his defensive coordinator in New Orleans, running primarily a 3-4. Then you get here and you run a 4-3. So that's exactly the question I asked Colin Saunders a little bit earlier today. Again, another totally different defense for you. How hard is it going to be to grasp?
It's very different. As you said, they were running a 3-4. It was kind of, I played a 3-4 a little bit in college, but this was a little bit more of a advanced 3-4, obviously, that they were in. But, being able to come here and a little bit more of a 4-3 flavor of defense, I actually enjoy it a lot because, I feel like I've played 4-3 a lot more in my career. And I like to be on edges as far as playing that 1 technique and that 3 technique and stuff like that. And even I like the way that we play a 2-eye here because some people want you to play a 2-eye, ball hand down, and different type of techniques. And I actually really appreciate that we get to play the technique the way we do here. So I've been enjoying that for the practice that I've got to participate in. And I think that they have a great plan. It just comes down to us executing it and being players and being what they brought us here to be. So, I'm obviously continuing to learn it. I haven't by no means learned it all at all, but I will obviously continue to try and get it down.
Brendan Staley, I don't know if I said the name correct. I may have said it incorrect. I'm so bothered here. I'm hot and bothered because we're having somewhat of a Florida State conversation. But Brendan Staley here is he got to be put into the Ring of Honor. Down 27-0. How do they allow him to get back on the team playing after blowing a 27-0 game here back in the playoffs a few years ago with the Los Angeles Chargers? So there you go. I really like this kid, Colin Saunders. I mean, he's a likable guy, okay? I think he's going to be a good team guy. He's won. I think leadership is so important, winning. There's not a lot of Super Bowl rings on this 90-man roster in Jacksonville. Well, Colin Saunders has one, and he was immediately involved today for the Jaguars. So that is good news. Friend of the program, Ed Witt over at Mill Electric says Jags and Gators both win 9 as a minimum. I think 9 gets you in the playoffs. For both teams, maybe. A 9-3, depending on where the losses are for Florida and by how much, with that schedule, will get you in. A 9-win season for the Jaguars, I don't think that's wild card worthy. But the last 3 years, what? Jacksonville won it at 9-8. The last 2 years, Houston's won it at 10-7. So 9 could be enough. We will see. All right, let's put our final spin on this one. And then tomorrow over at the Miller Electric Center, it is our final training camp. It'll be session number 18. Then the team heads out to Miami to practice and then play against the Dolphins.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to and should be yours. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Barra, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, today was a phenomenal day, health-wise, for the Jaguars. Jag fans, you should be fired up about this. Let's begin with Travis Hunter. Watched him individually at half speed working, and that included with Tyson Campbell, the two going after one another or working with one another. Also, Hunter involved in the alignments and assignments that was so important a week ago Tuesday. Remember, they ran the 40 plays where they called the play, snapped the ball, blew the whistle. They did the same thing today, and Hunter was working there. Once they went to group work and, 11 on 11, you didn't see him anymore. But two DBs back. And Liam Cohen, after practice, did say he hopes that Travis Hunter is going to be able to practice Thursday against the Miami Dolphins. More big news. How about Eric Armstead and Mason Smith? Both working today individually and both working in team 11 on 11. It's good to see him. At one particular time, you actually had a defensive formation with Armstead and Mason Smith inside, Hines Allen and Walker on the outside. Yeah, I'm not going to give you Jacksonville 2.0 because particularly in the interior, they really didn't do anything a year ago around here. Walker came on late, but boy, he's a big physical human being. Offensive line, the return of Anton Harrison and Chuma Edoga, and also a wide receiver, Diami Brown, returned today. He did not play. Neither of those guys played in the game on Sunday. Liam Cohen told us lower body stiffness, and he was tight. Finally, we saw Colin Saunders today. Newly acquired, he was involved as well in that defensive rotation. Before we bring in Hacker, this is what's great about college football. The 6706 just said, Ballou, I am not normally one who finds satisfaction in other people's suffering, but I have to admit, I am quite enjoying this. And that's what college football is all about. Okay? I've never been able to experience that with the Jaguars. The one thing, because there's not a rivalry. I mean, you had Pittsburgh, you had Baltimore. Who is it now? Houston. Who's it? The only thing that college football has over the NFL is great rivalries. Tremendous. And what's the best rivalry right now in the NFL? Is it Chicago, Green Bay? When's the last time one of those teams was relevant or won a Super Bowl? I mean, I grew up with Patriots, Jets, Patriots, Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Patriots, Baltimore Colts. The NFL is so far ahead in everything, but college football has better rivalries than the NFL.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Today was a lot of fun. Return to health for a lot of football players today. It was pretty cool to witness it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the veterans coming back. Hated to hear the news about Milam, though. Week to week is what Liam Cohen announced. Boy, this draft class, man. Milam's week to week. Ransaw's week to week. Jalen McLeod is week to week. That's 33% of your draft class that we're not going to see probably when the season begins. But you're all right with Mason Smith and with Eric Armstead, certainly Anton Harrison. In fact, we're 1 week away from the cuts. I was messing around before I came in here and did my 53-man roster without even thinking about it. And I literally got the 53 without thinking about it. Usually I get to like 48 and then when I did it, I'm at 53. And my question is to you, what are you doing with guys like Ransaw and Milam? I mean, are you putting them on your initial 53 when you do yours in the next couple of days?
I think right now my initial 53 will have a couple of guys go to IR. Cole Van Lanen feels like Buster Brown. IR. I think if Caleb Ramsey and, Caleb Ransaw, we were told today right there with Milam that he's week to week. You can keep a roster spot by putting those guys on the IR. And, of course, the COVID rules still apply where you can pull them back. But, yeah, I do think that, and maybe even Jalen McLeod. I mean, there's more of a guy that they're going to try to develop. I don't think he's ready right now. So I think there's a really good chance that you could put those guys, or at least, 2 or 3 of the 5 that I mentioned, on IR. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about week to week. I mean, we're, 19 days away from the regular season opener. If Milam and Ransaw are still week to week in a week or 2, then you are probably talking about short-term IR. But the cut down day is next Tuesday. They're obviously not going to cut Ransaw or Milam. They're going to have to be part of the initial 53. Then you can put them on short-term IR and bring somebody back. But that is an interesting situation to follow. They're probably going to have to cut some guys that they're ultimately going to want to bring back, depending on what they do with the short-term IR.
Yeah, man, and a lot of these younger guys, they would love to be able to bring back and put on the practice squad. But, yeah, I also kind of get a feeling, with James Gladstone after he's addressed, defensive tackle here twice now with veterans, that maybe they legitimately have their eyes on some guys that are rookies that are going to be let go by other teams, and maybe they give them a little extra and get them to come here to Jacksonville to be on the practice squad. So, that is going to be fascinating as far as I'm concerned. All right, what's planned tonight?
Yeah, Christian Braswell is my Jaguar training camp one-on-one.
He makes the team.
I agree. I have Braswell on my 53. I think he's had a very good camp for the second year in a row. So we'll talk with Christian Braswell, also Brian Sexton, who will be on the television call of the Jaguars and the Dolphins this Saturday night. Will join us, as well as Will Miles, readandreaction.com, talking a little Florida Gators as we are 11 days away from the Gators kicking off their regular season.
That is insane. Have a fun show.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it. Tomorrow morning will be our final training camp practice at the Miller Electric Center. And I believe I'm talking with Brenton Strange tomorrow. How about those third down receptions by Strange on Sunday? Thank you to Charles Robinson of Yahoo Sports. Thank you to Jaguars kicker Cam Little. And thank you to our Florida State analyst, Niall Lawrence Stample. Dylan Denmark produced it. My name is Rick Ballou. Have yourself a great night. We'll talk tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Jags.